Okay. Hi guys. I've already said hi guys, but now that it's recording, I feel like I have to say that again.
Reintroduce.
I
Hi.
know. Yeah. Okay, everyone that's on, please always feel free to unmute yourselves. Even though this is a great conversation between Peyton and we want to hear from everybody. So never feel awkward interrupting us. But Peyton, where should we start?
I know.
Where
Oh,
should we start? There's so much to say right now.
I know. Okay, well, I was also gonna say if you don't ever want to unmute yourself, feel free to use the chat and you can send us a message in there too. But
Absolutely.
I'm just so glad that you guys are here and are listening to our fun conversation.
Yeah. So Peyton texted me. It was only just it was like Friday. So just a couple days ago. And she was like, I want to have a business Zoom class. And I was like, absolutely, let's do that. But this was her idea. And as she started to explain to me why she was wanting to do it, I felt so empowered by her. So, Peyton, would you even just explain a little bit about why you were wanting to talk about the business side of doTERRA and have it not just be oils for a couple minutes today?
Yeah. I feel like not a lot of people know that even selling essential oils is a thing. I mean, or they hear the like rumors of what it could be like, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to have that like misconception of it, because it can be something so beautiful and so simple, and I wanted to be able to share that information with other people.
Mm-hmm. And it's so fun because Peyton's been doing this for like 9 months now, selling
Yes.
essential oils and sharing essential oils with others. She's been using oils for a while. And I've been doing this for like 6 years. So there's a huge discrepancy there. And I am honestly completely flabbergasted and taken back by how far and how much you've grown in the last 9 months versus my 6 years. It's like, you are past me. I'm like, Peyton's better than me. She is.
No.
Everyone else on here, like, I feel that for all of my girls.
Yeah.
But I also just have to echo what you just said, that so many people can feel a pull to creating their own business and selling and sharing essential oils because they love their essential oils, but they really have zero idea where to start. They really don't know if it's possible or if you can only be one of the top people that signed up 10 years ago to actually make money. Or you want to know what the elephant in the room is? This is an MLM. This is network marketing. This is social selling. And that can scare so many people. Wouldn't you agree, Peyton?
Yes. Yeah. I think that was the biggest thing. And even at first, when I decided to sell, I had been listening to a Zoom call just like this with Sydney. And I just like had this feeling of like, oh my gosh, why can't I do this? I can do this because I love essential oils. And immediately that thought came in my head of like, wait, but it's like MLM. I don't know. You hear all these things. But
Mm-hmm.
then once I listened to the information about it all, I was like, okay, wait, this is not what I thought it was going to be like.
Yeah, exactly.
Better.
And I think there's so much to be said about why you got on that first Zoom meeting or why you're here on this first one, whoever, like everyone who's listening. So, would you just explain why you got on that first Zoom meeting, business Zoom meeting, almost a year ago? What
Yeah.
made you do that?
So I had been following Sydney for a little bit, and I had signed up with her using oils, and I was in the thick of a brand new baby, and I was at home like, I want something for myself. I want to feel like I'm accomplishing goals. I want to set goals for myself. I want to feel proud of me as a mom and what I'm doing in my home. And when I was listening to that Zoom call, I was like, this is it. This is what I can do, not only for myself, but it will also help my family, my home at the same time. And that was something that really like pulled me in that direction.
Mhm. And I know so many women who build their business that's on right now, like Whitley and Tyler, that's how they felt too. And for me, when I started building my business it was like 7 years ago, you guys, but for the first year or two, I just had zero idea what I was doing. Okay. So I only count like 6 years ago, but it was when I first got married, like 8 years ago. So I needed to make money. Like I had to bring in a certain amount every single month for our power to stay on and for our car insurance to be paid and for food to be on the table. Like I had to bring in a certain amount of money, and I knew that I didn't want to leave my baby. I had just had a baby, and I could think of nothing worse than giving him away to daycare. And if that is the stage of your life, I am not shaming you at all. Maybe you need that getaway to work and you love your corporate job and you love having your child at daycare. And so I'm not shaming you for that. But for me, I couldn't stand the thought of that. And so I did not have a community for a very, very long time. In fact, I don't even like have uplines that like support me or like anything like that. So everything we've created is really centered around women and supporting each other, which I love. But I just needed to make money. Like I had to do that. And so my reason is very different from even yours, Peyton. Even though I did feel that, I had to make money. And so there's two very different sides, and everyone has a different story of why they're here, which
Yeah.
is totally fine. But so let's kind of transition to talking into like the classic concerns. So Peyton, what are the classic concerns of what do people communicate to you that's like, I don't know if I could do it because of X, Y, and Z?
Well, first of all, because they say like expensive, it's too expensive. That's a really big thing. And they're scared of what people will think when they are sharing essential oils with them. I think those are the two biggest things that I have heard.
I hear those a lot. Another one that I hear is it's a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
They're not a salesperson. That is the biggest one I hear is I could never sell anything. And I just laugh. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And what are some other ones that we hear? If you guys are on the chats, like you can share in the chats what you guys hear too, or why you feel like you couldn't. Like, let's address the concerns right now. Also, another one is they're afraid that they have to sell a certain amount every month. Like, you need a sales quota. You have to sell. Oh, Whitley just says, I don't want to be that girl in quotations. That is exactly what I'm saying. You don't want to be that salesy, like annoying pyramid scheme girl on the internet. So, what would you say, Peyton? Like, how would you debunk those just from your own perception? And I'm going to show a graphic here in a minute, but I want you to explain how you debunk those.
Well, even just like with Whitley's comment of like, don't want to be that girl. Well, like, what is that girl? You get to decide what it is. You can share and sell however you want to share something. There's no right and there's no wrong. And I think that's the biggest thing, like that what does that girl mean? Who is she? Like, you can be whatever girl you want.
Ooh,
Ashley,
this is a good one. Ashley says, I worry that so many people already have an oil lady. Most of my friends know and use doTERRA. So how would I be successful? Oh, okay, this is such a good one. Okay, we'll get to that, Ashley. We are going to get to that for sure. So keep going, Peyton.
no, I mean, that was pretty much what I was going to say about that.
Okay.
Like the typical pyramid scheme, but what I tell people is you get to sell it however the way you want. You don't have to match a certain blueprint. This is however you feel like you want to do it.
So let's go into this for a second. I'm sharing my screen with everybody. Okay, this is how to become a wellness advocate. We will get to that. We'll get to that. Okay, so let's address those concerns right now. Number one, let's just address Ashley's question right now. You feel like the market is probably super saturated. And my answer to that is every industry is very saturated right now. Like if you try to open up your own clothing shop on Etsy, there is a sweatshirt clothing shop everywhere you turn. If you wanted to repurpose mugs from the DI and resell them on social media, you can find so many people that do that. So one could be the circle that you're in, that yes, it is saturated. So many people have heard me say this next statement. So it's going to be really redundant for so many people. You are either going to sell or you're going to be sold to. Now, maybe some of your friends don't have a current wholesale account with doTERRA. Maybe they get it from their aunt who lives down the street from her and they don't have a wholesale account. Maybe they do, but they have not one person that supports them in understanding and learning and using their oils like the Outback community does. Maybe you think they use them more than they do. Maybe they say they use them more than they actually do. So you never really know until you start to be the one on social media or with friends and family that says, hey, here's how you can use oils. And guess what? I am selling them now. I think so many people, and Peyton, I want you to chime in on this because I know you have experience with this. It's so scary and it can be so embarrassing to say, I sell essential oils now. And Peyton, I want you to chime in right here because was that a concern for you? Is maybe like a little bit of embarrassment, or was it not?
No, yeah, it totally was. And not being embarrassed that I used them and that I loved them, but that I was going to sell them and try to get other people to buy them. That was like, it seemed embarrassing to me at the beginning, which is now seems silly that like I was embarrassed by it, but it was a true feeling. And like, I felt like that in the beginning.
Uh-huh. And I think there can be so much shame around it, where why are we letting shame and embarrassment stop us from doing something that we absolutely love? Like if you love filling your diffuser and you love learning new ways to put oils on your kids for bedtime, or you love making money and you want to start learning how to make more money, maybe it's a monetary thing for you, which is totally fine. It was for me at the beginning, I'll be completely honest. Where I could have quit so many times or been like, oh, I'm too embarrassed. It like if you guys heard my stories, I won't share them today. You would crawl in a hole and want to die for how embarrassed I was sometimes and the things that I did at the beginning. But maybe we should do like a whole Q&A or like a live of all the things I did wrong.
Yeah.
That would be the best.
Can I say one more thing about Ashley's comment?
Absolutely.
Even if you seem like there's a lot of people in your same circle that use essential oils, this also could be something that could really benefit you because you have so many people close to you that already love essential oils. They're on your same team of, yeah, this peppermint really does work. And they have a friend and they have a friend. And because you've created such an awesome community where you're educating other people and you're supporting them, they are going to refer their friends to you and your community. Unless, they're selling, but they're going to recommend the people around them to you because they see what an awesome community you can build.
And I know we're peeing around from different topic to different topic, so I hope I don't get off tangent here. But another thing that we should keep in mind with this is there's millions of people that sell essential oils. There's millions of people that have clothing shops. There's millions of car salesmen. Why do you go to your car salesman? Why do you stick with your real estate agent? I stick with my real estate agent because he has gone above and beyond and really doesn't expect anything from me if I'm not ready to buy a house. And you can take that same approach with selling and sharing essential oils. What makes Peyton and Whitley and Rachel and Sydney different from anyone else on the internet selling essential oils? Well, number one, my Super Bowl halftime shows, for some reason, people just love those. And when I started doing them like 2 years ago, it was literally just like a funny outlet for me. And now people send me messages all the time about like how much they love me. And I'm like, great, come over for tacos. Like when are we hanging out? When are we getting coffee? And our Outback community, or whatever community you're umbrellaed under, maybe you're under Veronica's or Whitley's or Peyton's, everyone's umbrellaed under the Outback, but we have support that I've never seen in doTERRA or any essential oil or social selling community. I want to keep up on these.
And I have experience with that firsthand because before I signed up with Sydney, I was signed up under somebody else. It was a family friend and it was awesome. I loved her, but she was an older lady. She had a totally different community than what I was looking for. And when I found Sydney's community, I was like, this is what I need. I wanted this feeling and this vibe and these awesome girls that are in this similar stages of life to me. And that really pulled me that way. So that I have that experience firsthand of like finding people that connect with.
Exactly. Yeah. And we'll go over all of the resources, but I did want to just put that out there. Let's kind of go into more of the logistics of selling. So it's too expensive and you have to make a sales quota. Let's talk about those. There are no requirements for how much you have to sell. Let's say last month, like I'm giving you real raw numbers here, okay? Last month, I think I sold $35,000 worth of essential oils. That's a lot. That's a lot of freaking money that I sold in last month's numbers or whatever, okay? If I were to sell $1,000, I wouldn't get penalized. They wouldn't fire me. My paycheck just wouldn't be as big because I'm obviously not selling as much. They're not going to slap you on the wrist. They're not going to take your status away. It's just simply that you didn't sell as much. And sometimes there's smaller months and sometimes there's really, really, really big months, like BOGO months where you have 10 oils for the price of 5. And, then there's slower months and that's okay. So you are not required to sell a certain amount at all. Number 2, it's too expensive for you. There is a requirement that you have to spend 100 PV, which is about $100, okay? Give or take a little bit. Every single month for you to receive your paychecks. Now, if you didn't spend $100, you simply just wouldn't get your paycheck. Now, for some people, $100 is a bit of a sacrifice, would you say, Peyton?
Mm-hmm.
People at the beginning.
Yeah.
I am gonna say I'm just gonna preface this. Sorry, I know I'm all over the place and I'm a squirrel and I'm probably making you all dizzy and sick with my thoughts right now. But as many of you know, I have an apothecary. I have an online e-commerce shop where I formulate and make my own products. It's not an MLM, it's not a social selling market. I make and ship out everything. It's called Outback Apothecary. And I will tell you how much I spend on this business, Outback Apothecary, every month. I'm not joking, is about, I probably invest at least $5,000 a month into my apothecary. That's just to keep it running. That's just to keep my website going, my employees going, my assistant, her family fed. It's just for the glass bottles that I pay for and the essential oils I fill the glass bottles with. Okay, so $100 for the reward that you're getting from doTERRA is absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. So if it is a sacrifice for your family, and maybe you're not making $100 yet, it's okay if you don't spend $100. But maybe once you get to that place where you're like, wow, I'm signing some people up and I would have gotten an $80 paycheck, maybe you go ahead and spend $100 that month because you've gotten $80. Mm-hmm. But I will just say to you right now, if you're not investing in yourself $100 every month to grab some new oils, start learning about some new oils, maybe purchasing the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate and the Barrage Skincare so that you can go and share that, you won't take your business as seriously. Would you agree, Peyton?
Yes. Yeah. There's definitely been months where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to reach 100 PV or like, I don't know if I need to spend that much this month. But then I'm like, okay, but I really want to try this product because I know someone that could maybe benefit from it. And I think I really want to share and talk about it. So I'm going to make that sacrifice. But in the end, it ends up working out.
Mm-hmm. So I think to take away from that, you need to spend 100 PV or $100 a month. But if you don't have shame around that. And that's okay. And let's get you making $100 tomorrow. Like we have all of the resources to help you do that right now. So that's kind of the logistics. A couple other logistics, I'm going to bring up this other slide, is how do you become a wellness advocate? So you might be a wholesale customer right now, and you would need to upgrade your account to a wellness advocate, and it's free. There's no extra added cost to it. So how do we even explain to upgrade a wellness advocate? It's just a click of a button. So
yes. Yeah.
Message whoever helped you get on today or listen to this recording on how to upgrade your account to a wellness advocate. But Peyton, can you explain number 1 for us? Because this kind of goes along with what we were just talking about.
Yes. So find a community that you align with who will guide you and support you. So I am a part of the Outback Community. That is the reason I keep going. If I had to do this by myself, It would be so, I would feel so defeated every day for a few reasons because I don't have girls that are sitting here supporting me. We have a Voxer group that you have any sort of question, it can seem like a silly question, but any sort of question, and like immediately you have people there to help you and to guide you on how to build a business. And so I think it's something that's so important is finding people that are there to support you and that will help continue to educate you so that you can educate your customers.
Mhm.
That's something I loved about like Sydney, like how I said I was a part of a different community before, and I wasn't really thinking about selling then. But then when I switched to Sydney's community and I saw that she offered to all of her wellness advocates, I was like, this is amazing. Like I've never seen someone do education hours like this and little, thoughtful gifts or promotions that month. Like it's amazing how much having a community that speaks to you helps you feel confident in growing your business.
So since we're on this topic, let's just kind of like snowball into this so that if you're thinking about selling and sharing essential oils, what kind of support you have. So number one is like Peyton said, we have an entire Voxer. It's just like an app. It's like a group text, group voice message app that you can silence if you're like in the middle of like an important meeting or church or something and you can't have the notifications on. Everyone's extremely active in our Voxer groups. And this Voxer group is just all of us who sell and share essential oils. And we'll ask questions like, what's good? Like I think Kelsey or Veronica asked about tonsillitis this morning because they might have someone who's struggling with tonsillitis. So you can ask product questions. We give real ideas. We help you understand how to maneuver social media a little bit better. So it's like a question forum and a group of us women that are together. Okay, so that's number one. We have a Voxer group. Number two is we have education hours all the freaking time. Peyton, explain kind of what education hours are.
Yes. Okay. Education hours are, first of all, my favorite thing of the week because, or whenever we have them, like it's so fun to get on them. But, and it'll be different people in our community that host an education hour. And we are able to learn about different topics, whether it's diffusing, whether it's, we're just going to talk about peppermint, and other people in our community will host these education hours. And then you are able to invite your customers to them and they can learn about the products that they have.
So this is something that I have never seen in other communities, and keep in mind, I've been in doTERRA a long time. A lot of people will hold their own online Zoom classes. It's like a Zoom class. We're doing lots of in-person ones. Whitley's in Arizona, Peyton's in Arizona. They're doing their own in-person make and takes and classes and fun girls nights. We're doing them here in West Jordan, Utah. But these are like online ones for people who don't have a local community. And a lot of times people will have their own people. Okay, like I would just invite the people of mine who are interested. But I wouldn't necessarily extend the invite to Peyton because she's not teaching the class. I'm teaching the class, so my people will get on. We do not have that mindset in Outback Community. If Peyton's teaching an online Zoom class about, I don't even know, hormones or using essential oils on your kids or going back to school and knowing what oils to use for your kids going back to school, she 9 times out of 10 will extend the offer and invitation to everybody else that doesn't even benefit her, so that she can teach other people. So it's like you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And we have the most supportive group ever. And
Yes.
that's something that you can advertise and say, hey, mom or sister or cousin or best friend, I know that you have kids. If you want to learn how to use essential oils on your kids, I'm hopping on the Zoom class and I'm learning how to use oils on my kids to go back to school. I immediately thought about you. If you want to get on, I'm getting on too. Like, how powerful is that? That's amazing. So that's number 2. Number 3 is we have complete essential oil guides that the Outback community has created, and women within the Outback community, like Kelsey's created some, Eden's created some, Tylo's created some. We have diffuser cards. And this helps you be able to send these to the people who are interested in essential oils or that buy essential oils from you so that they can understand how to use them. Because we never ever want someone to just buy essential oils from us and then never talk to them again. That is so icky and so gross. So we've created resources that will support you learning about them, but also the people who are interested in essential oils and want to learn from you. Do you have anything to say about that, Peyton?
No, I think you touched on all of the points in that one. I think, yeah.
And then kind of the next thing is number 3. Well, number 2, which is if you don't have a doTERRA membership account, definitely become a wholesale member or sign up as a wellness advocate. And that's how you like start to become a part of the Outback community or whoever invited you to listen to this. But number 3, begin sharing with friends and family and watch your business grow. Peyton, I want you to share some of your favorite ways that you grow your doTERRA business.
Yeah. My okay, I had like a lot of thoughts going through my head.
I love it. I love it.
I want to preface, okay, most of my business I am doing on social media, which is so great that we have social media because it's just free advertising for us and our own business. I will talk about it to my friends and family if they're having like a certain issue and I'm like, hey, I have an oil that might help. Are you interested? And they're like, sure, yeah, I'll try it. And they'll use it that way. Those are really the 2 biggest ways I've been growing my business. I have never cold messaged anybody, which there might be a time and a place for that. I don't know. Maybe I'll like have that opportunity someday, but I've never just like, messaged that girl from my English class in 9th grade that's like, hey, haven't talked to you in 6 years, but I'm here and I'm going to sell oils. Do you want them? Like, I have never done that. And I don't know if I'll ever do that, but that I'm so glad that we have social media to grow our business because it makes it super simple. It seems very what's the word, like genuine, and there's a word I'm thinking of, I can't think of what it is.
It feels authentic and it feels in alignment
Authentic.
with what you're doing.
That was the word, authentic. Yes.
And there's so many ways to grow your business. Okay, so I'm just going to throw out a couple. Social media, like Peyton said, absolutely. There's so many realms within social media to grow your business, though, and I don't think people realize that. Even if you've never made a reel in your life, or you've only made a reel about your 2-year-old eating Cheerios that like had a funny song to it or something, and you don't feel very well versed, none of us were at the beginning. Like Tylo, I see she's wearing or making macrames right now, so she can't participate. Literally, Tylo messaged me last November, and she was like, what would you say if I told you I wanted to sell essential oils? And I cussed. I was like, frick yeah, like absolutely. And she was like, but I don't know how to make reels. And literally we all banded together and she was like, how do I like, where's the reel button? I don't know where the button is. And she was like, how do I add music to, I don't know how to add music. Like, so I'm telling you, no one knows how to do it at the beginning, but that's why we're here to help you. We will show you where the real button is. We will show you just even like little angles or like ways to not hold your phone and to hold your phone and to what a trending audio even means. What does that mean? Why do you get more views than others? And there's so many realms within social media. We have so many tips for how to do stories correctly because no one wants to listen to a 7.5-minute story. That's like 17 buttons. So keep it short and sweet. And we'll kind of tell you this verbiage works better here and stick to this verbiage and shy away from this verbiage because that sounds harsh. And like, wouldn't you agree, Peyton? Those are huge things that you don't have to figure out on your own.
Yes. Like in that Voxer, that's another thing, like using that Voxer group, Sydney will literally be like, hey, you guys use this song and talk about this topic. Here you go. And it's like, okay, thanks, Sid. Like, yeah, we got it for the day. Like, it's so nice to have a community of girls that you can bounce ideas off of each other. And someone does a cool reel and you're like, hey, I'm going to copy that. And they're like, good, do it. Like, that's awesome. I want you to copy my same reel. It's so great.
Always. And that's something that I love is so many people would be like, why are you copying me? And I'm like, because that was dope. You're freaking awesome. And I want to be like you. You know, there's not offense with anything.
Yeah.
Another way that you can grow and enter into selling essential oils, this might be something that really scares you. And I hope you'll do it because it scares you, is do in-person get-togethers. Like Whitley is killing it at this. Go watch her stories, go see what she's doing, ask her questions on what she's doing. We talk about this on Boxer all the time, okay? But invite some girlfriends over to make some anxiety roller bottles. If you don't know how to make anxiety roller bottles, guess what? We have an entire guide that we created on making roller bottles and diffusing oils. Like, you will not be left. Reach out to us. Let's just say that 2 of your best friends from high school show up. Just 2. You have 2 people there. Isn't that so fun that you get to sit and visit and catch up with 2 of your best friends from high school, and you're showing them how to make anxiety roller bottles for their 4-year-old who's anxious to go to preschool? Like, if your intentions are aligned, you'll have fun doing it, and it's really, really exciting. So watch how we're doing in-person things and how we make others feel loved and included and important by our in-person things, and you can copy that. I also had another thing to say, and why does it always leave my brain? I hate when it leaves my brain. Okay, the other thing that I have to say about watching your business grow and a way that you can grow your business is Tylo talked to me today, and I love this idea. Tylo was FaceTiming me this morning, and she was like, you know, I'm signing Clayton, her 5-year-old, up for gymnastics. And I thought since I signed him up for gymnastics, I would take a little sample pouch of like On Guard hand sanitizing mist and like some lavender roller bottles and some little tiny samples that are literally in this big of a dram. Like, they're tiny. You just add like 10 drops of peppermint or whatever oil you want, and you can give them out to people. And she said, I just think that'd be so fun. Like, while I'm sitting there visiting with other gymnastic moms, I can talk, like, I can give them a sample of peppermint if they say they have a headache. She's not trying to just sit there and sell and be this weird saleswoman at a gymnastics, but if she's sitting there and she's talking to some good friends or things come up, she can help that person with the headache. So it's also just being mindful of having your oils with you at gymnastics or at the park. Or I love getting to know new people at my yoga classes. That's how I found Eden and Mamie and some of my best doTERRA girlfriends, is by sharing some essential oils in the middle of yoga class or while we're just like sitting there getting our class started. So really there's so many ideas. It's just that you have to kind of flex that brain muscle, right, Peyton?
Yes, yeah. Just finding the people around you and what they're interested in or what they might like or be interested in. Yeah.
And you can share those things on social media. Like, anyways, that's a whole other topic. We can do like a whole social media training. Don't have to go over all that. So one thing that I wanted us to give to you so that you could see a day in the life of someone who sells essential oils. Okay, so Peyton, can you take us through what a day in your life looks like selling essential oils on social media and to your friends and family?
Yes. Okay. So I made this little outline of my day. Disclaimer, not every single day looks like this. Some days I'm sitting on the ground with my toddler screaming as he's like throwing goldfish at me. And that's just the kind of day we have. So this is not my everyday. And I'm so grateful that it doesn't have to be every day. I can do it when I want. But most days when I'm wanting to really focus on my business, I will wake up, and the first thing I always do, whether I'm building my business or not, I fill my diffuser because I love setting the mood and the tone in my home. So I'll set my turn on my diffuser, and if I really love my blend that I've made or my certain oil that I'm using, I will just simply post it and share it on my Instagram. Then I will, do the chores around the house. I'll clean the dishes, and maybe because I really love my Abode dish soap that I'm using, I'm going to share it. Or I'll talk about the Abode, what's it called? Dishwasher pods. I'll clean my house, and if I see anything that I think, oh, I haven't talked about this in a while, I'll share it on Instagram. And I'll either link it or maybe ask a question like, has anyone else tried using lemon in their garbage disposal, or that kind of thing. And then of course there's always the time of the day where I need to focus on Sawyer. That's my little boy. He's 2, whether it's go to the park. Today we went and played at Chick-fil-A in the play place, had to tire him out before our Zoom call. But I spent some time with him, and then nap time, which is like, I know if you have kids, it's the most precious time of the day is nap time. But if I finished all the other things that I want to get done around my house, like laundry, whatever, picking up, then I sit and spend time growing my business, because it's super important for me to actually set aside the time to work on my goals. So whether that's spending a little bit of time on social media, making a reel, doing a question box and answering questions that people have asked, that kind of thing. And then usually the rest of the evening, I will get on here and there, but I just spend time with my husband. He's home from work. I'll spend time with Sawyer, make dinner, that kind of thing. And then at the end of the night, after bedtime, sometimes I'll share Sawyer's bedtime oils, or share something that helps us go to sleep, share my skincare. But I really like at the end of the day to either think about something I will share tomorrow, or use that time to educate myself on a new oil I've never tried, educate myself on different ways to grow my business, different things. So I just kind of like to mix it throughout the day, and not every day is mapped out exactly like this, but if I'm really focusing on my business, this is what I try to have in my day.
I love this. I love knowing what other people do, because so many years ago when I was doing this all on my own, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have anyone to like hold my hand or make guides or show me on Instagram stuff. I always wondered, what do they do with their time? Like, do they work 8 hours a day? Does she like fill her day filling up essential oil drums to share? Like, what does she do with her day? And so it inspired me, and it inspires me still to see, oh, she uses her time there. She does this on social media. My day looks just a little bit different than Peyton's, because I have so many people that are needing me in different facets of my business. And Peyton is able to really focus on selling and getting the word out there right now. That's a huge part of her time. Where mine might be really loving on and sharing and giving my existing customers some love and support and tips and tricks. My days will kind of look like planning my next girls get together here at my home in West Jordan, so that women in my local area can feel supportive and like there's space for them to learn in a physical environment. Mine might look like making a reel with me and my 7-year-old filling our own roller bottles or whatever it is. So the point is that you get to map out what your day looks like, because Peyton's day looks way different from mine, because she has a 2-year-old at home and I have a kid. I have one kid that's at school all day long. So I love to say that your doTERRA business is meant to fit in your life, not your life fit into doTERRA. So whether you can give 8 hours a day like I can, or 2 hours a day like Peyton can, give 100% of whatever time you can give. For Tylo, it's like 5-minute spurts every 45 seconds. Like, she has the craziest kids I've ever, like, her daughter is always naked and she's 2. I'm like, Gracie, you're my spirit animal. I want to be naked all the time too. Wait, we're friends. I'm my best friend's a 2-year-old. What? You know, so her day looks a lot different. But whatever you do, I would suggest giving 100%, or else in about 6 months, you will step back and you'll say, this isn't for me, only because you didn't give exactly what you could. You probably gave 10% or 20% instead of 100. Okay, I briefly, and we're gonna let you go in like 5 minutes. I briefly want to talk about something that we're all working towards, and we're all sprinting for this so hard. And it's something called Founders. You probably don't know what Founders is if you are just getting on right now. Founders is one of the most inspiring and amazing things I have ever worked for and am working towards. So in the entire company in doTERRA, there is 200 spots. And once these 200 spots are filled, they are filled forever. I think right now there's 165 spots left. So only 35 people have earned a Founders spot. Founders is a point-based system that you earn. And you earn a spot of founders by running your business, by enrolling people, by engaging in your community, by rank advancing, by you helping other people rank advance, and you earn a share of the $2 billion company that doTERRA is. And every single year, they will give you a 2% check of $2 billion. Okay, so every January, you'll get between about $80,000 to $100,000 check just because you worked really hard and earned one of those 200 spots. And you get that, I believe it's at the beginning of the year. Don't quote me on that. Maybe it's at the end of the year. Maybe it's December instead of January. Who knows? But this is something that no one is out of the running for. Okay, so you need to earn 1,000 points. I won't go over the points or anything. I just want to talk to you about founders for a minute. You need to earn 1,000 points, and once you've earned 1,000 points, you're in founders. If you're one of the next 165 people, if you have 0 points for founders right now because you're not even a wellness advocate yet, you are not out of the running. If you have, I think I have like 500 points right now. You might make it before I will. I hope not. I hope I'm there like in the next month or two. We're like really working towards it. But this is something that you get to be a part of if you're willing to start sharing like crazy your experience with essential oils. And if you're willing to really engage in the Outback community and understand and learn about essential oils more so that you can go and help other people learn how to use oils. There's no secret sauce to get to founders. There's no secret of, I did this and I did this and I had this secret party that I got to founders for. It's legitimately, you start sharing essential oils with everyone that will listen, and you shout it from the rooftops on social media, and you help other people do the same. So if founders is something that you're interested in, please reach out to the person that gave you the Zoom code, because you can get there. And Peyton, you're going for founders, right? Say yes.
Yes, I am. Of course.
Veronica is, Randy, but like we're all going for founders, and we're all going to walk the stage at convention next year as founders, and it's going to be amazing because we did it together. Like that's what's so fun, is doing this together.
Yes.
So, that's kind of all we have for you today. I hope this helped like relieve some concerns. Maybe you got on and you have decided this isn't for you, and that's totally okay. That's just as valid as for somebody who is inspired and wants to move forward with this. And maybe you are someone that has heard this conversation, you're like, I love this. This is amazing. And if that's the case, let's get you upgraded to a wellness advocate. We can help you with that. Message the person who has helped you and we'll get you going. Do you have anything else to add, Peyton?
No, I think that's great. Yeah, just if you have any other questions that might have come up as we were talking, or you still want a little more info, message me or Sydney or whoever invited you to this class, and we'll help you with whatever you need.
Yeah. Okay, we will let you all go. My dog's coming into that's perfect timing. My husband just got home from work. Great. Okay, I'm gonna stop the